I don't really know where to start this one, so I'm just gonna start talking. I've been having a really tough week in this one particular way where, most of the time I feel super happy with my life. I'm really satisfied specifically like with my life choices. I love living alone. I love being single. I love being child-free. And as with everything else, just because you're happy with your life choices doesn't mean that your life is perfect, and it doesn't mean that you're always happy. And there are difficult things about being in a partnership, and there are difficult things about being single. And this is just one of those weeks where I'm tired. I'm so tired. Like, I don't know what it was about this week specifically because, it's not like life is ever just chill or just where you ever just get a week where things just kind of go as you plan. But I think this week in particular just felt really like bumpy. Like I had all this random shit come up that I just wasn't like, I don't want to deal with that right now. I don't want to make this phone call or deal with this thing around my house. I'm so burnt out from having to do like every little thing by myself. And if you are out there and you are also single and you are like holding down your household solo, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're taking care of pets, you're working full time, you're paying your bills, you're doing it all. Are you as tired as I am? I'm so tired. I hope you're doing better than I am, but I am struggling with it right now. So if you are too, drop a comment. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss. I think all it takes is just like one random week where you're like, a bunch of small things don't go right. And then you're like, damn it. Like, it all started when I was driving back from the cottage with my sister last weekend. It was a pretty remote cottage, and on the drive, we took a slightly different route because we were trying to get gas. So we end up going down these like really tiny country roads. They were unpaved. They were just like riddled with potholes. Like the roads were a mess. We get to gas. We get through most of the drive. In about the last half hour of the drive, my car is sounding awful. As my sister said, she said it sounded like the Titanic right before it splits. Yeah, it's pretty apt, actually, not gonna lie. So the car is creaking. It sounds like I'm dragging something under the car. It sounds like a piece of my car has come off and is like dragging underneath. So for the last half hour of the drive, I'm just like, please just get us home safely. Like, it was a 5-hour drive. We'd been in the car all day. It was pouring on the drive. Like, I was just like, please just get us home in one piece and I will deal with this on the other side. So sure enough, I get us home. When I drop her off at her place, I popped out of the car to just like take a look underneath. And sure enough, it was like pretty much exactly what I suspected. The fender liner around my front right tire had been shredded, like absolutely destroyed by probably like a big rock or a pothole, something like that. So I get the car home. I end up bungee cording it back together just so that it's like not dragging on the street. But I didn't really feel comfortable driving my car. I was like, I'm not going to take it anywhere far. I'm literally just going to drive it down the street to my auto shop, which I did on Monday. So, starting the week, it's Monday. I'm just getting back from a week vacation. And like, what is the first thing I have to do? Take the car into the shop. As I'm, trying to get back into the swing of being back online at work for the first time in over a week, catching up with that. I also remember too that I have to take my car into the dealership because it has been overdue for a recall repair. And I've tried calling them multiple times. They don't pick up, it goes to voicemail. And then every time I don't get through, it's like another month goes by, I forget to call them back, whatever. But I really need to get my car in for this other repair as well. So that's been like hanging over me for literal months now. It's just like, so also Monday morning, as I'm trying to deal with taking the car in, calling the shop, a bee gets into my house. And I'm probably irrationally scared of bees because I have an EpiPen. I have been hospitalized once from an allergic reaction to a bee. So I think I'm probably like more paranoid than the average person. So a bee got in the house, and even that, I just like dealing with that. And that was like one of those moments where I'm just like, Lexi, you help, like you get it. Cause I'm just, in that moment, I was just like, I'm so tired of always having to be the person to shoo the bee out of the house. Like sometimes it would just be nice to be like, hey, you don't have a horrible allergy to this thing. Can you please shoo the bee out of the house? Can you take the dog for a morning walk? Can you pop the car down the street to the auto shop? And then also, I think this happened Monday morning. I think it was Monday or Tuesday morning. Anyway, a cop showed up at my door at 6:30 in the morning. There was an incident down the street. So I talked to the cop for like 10 minutes and help him out. But even that, I was just like, what a way to start the week. And like to deal with this kind of stuff by yourself. You're always just like, what the fuck, man? Like it's moments like that where you're just like, it'd be really nice to have another person. Having another human around is like really nice sometimes. Just an extra pair of hands. Just a little bit of help, I'm just so tired of like always being the one to have to cook dinner. I don't want to cook dinner. It's like, please, I just want someone else to cook me dinner for once. I think it's very telling that, going to the cottage with my family, I was just like, this is nice because I just have someone making a meal for me once in a while. And I did a lot of the cooking at the cottage, which I'm happy to do and I really enjoy. But I'm just like, once in a while, I was just like, it's nice that someone made me a hot dog, Like, it's nice that it's nice that someone else is cleaning the kitchen after I cook dinner. It's just really nice. It's really nice that someone else is taking Lexi outside. Just that I get that little bit of a break. And that's the thing, like, that's how we are meant to live. We are supposed to live in community with other people. Even if you're not in a romantic relationship, like, you should have family and friends and neighbors and people around who you can like rely on for little tasks, or you can just say hi to and chat with for 5 minutes. And that's been so removed from our society. I think this is what a lot of single people feel. And I think it's a lot of what drives like the craving and desire to be in relationships. It's just the having to do everything solo without having, having someone else around to help out with like the menial day-to-day stuff of life, which is like 80 to 90% of life. Like life is mostly the mundane, boring day-to-day stuff. And so yeah, I'm just feeling kind of burnt out right now with like running a household all by myself. And I think that's fair too. Like when you think about it, it's right, like households were never meant to run this way. Households were set up when it was like a 2-person or 2-adult household, and like one of those people worked full-time and the other person did the upkeep and maintaining of the household. And it's just like, and now if you're single, you just do both. You work full-time and you have to do all of the cooking, cleaning, planning, shopping, pet care, appointments, travel plans. Like it's just doing it all by yourself. And so if you're feeling burned out too, like that's why we weren't supposed to live like this. I think that's the thing that's upsetting about this for me, is that like these things happen and it doesn't make me want to be in a relationship. It just makes me wish that our society was different. And like what I mean by that is I don't want a romantic partner and I certainly don't want to live with somebody. But what I wish was that we just lived in a more connected society. I wish we had more community. I wish the cost of living wasn't so terrible so that I could live closer to friends and family, that we lived in more walkable places, that we had to devote less hours to work and we could devote more hours to mutual aid and community care and taking care of one another. That's the frustration I feel. It's never like, wow, I wish there was another person living in my house. I mean, like sometimes, but like at the root of it, what I'm really feeling is just like a longing for more community, to help each other out, to cook a meal for each other. And it also makes me feel, again, just sort of like, I think frustrated with our society and our system, that most people are so oriented towards romantic relationships. But again, I'm going to point the finger there at capitalism and other things. It's more so than at individuals. I'm just so tired of having to be the person to do everything. And even like this morning, I was so excited it was finally the weekend. And I slept like trash last night, trying to get off the nicotine, which if you know, getting off the nicotine, ooh, your first night or two of sleep is terrible. Terrible dreams. You're up every hour. So that was my night last night. And then waking up cranky and being like, having coffee with no nicotine. It doesn't hit quite the same. So I've been up since like 6 a.m. I was super excited. It was the weekend. I was like, oh, I can finally rest, recuperate, whatever. But I've still been dealing with car issues. The car was in the shop yesterday, trying to finally deal with like getting the house cleaned. After getting back from the cottage, I haven't had a time to like do laundry, to wash my bedding, to do all of that. So I was trying to do all of that this morning. And then my idiot dog scratched her eye. And for those of you with dogs, you might be familiar, but like this part of their eye pops out. It's really gross. It's called cherry eye, I think. And even that, I'm just like, why today? Like, I just wanted today to be a chill day. And when it happens, it's like you have to like massage it back into place. You do a bunch of things, but I've tried a bunch of things and none of it's working. So even that, and I'm always grossed out by it. I hate when it happens. It only happens every few months, but every time she does it, I'm just like, oh, like it makes me want to vomit looking at it. And again, I don't have any help. I don't have a second set of hands. So I have to be the one, even though I'm like gagging in my mouth, I have to like massage this like thing back into place. And it didn't work today. So it still just popped out. I'm letting her sleep right now. I'm hoping it just fixes itself after a while. Cause like, I guess take her to the vet eventually if it doesn't fix itself. But even that, I'm just like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of going to the vet. Like I take this dog to the vet way more than I go to the doctor. It's just like we were at the vet 2 weeks ago. I don't want to go to the vet again. That's not how I want to spend my day. And just the fact that I never have, and I don't ever have anyone else who can just help out and be the one to like take the vet appointment that day. It's like, no, I'm always the one who has to miss work, and it's just me and my dog. Like I don't even have a stressful life, but it's just the having to do everything alone. It's just the having to do everything solo without having someone else you can just yeah. So anyway, I don't have any immediate solutions, but just to say, I think it's okay to like feel frustration and fatigue with all of that. Like let yourself feel those things. And then also it's just always the question of like, how do I build up more community? How do I invest into that part of my life a little bit more? So that's something I think about a lot anyway. It's something that I'm definitely, gonna like be trying to bring more attention to in the coming months. Really trying to like show up for people more, show up for my friends more, show up for my family more, and build new connections with new people, and like also let them help me too and ask for help as well. Because that's part of living in community. Unfortunately, you also have to ask for help. So even if it's just like little things like asking my sister to watch my dog once in a while, it's always so appreciated when she, does that, when it's like these little gestures, or sometimes she brings me little treats, and it's just like those little things are like what I'm talking about. And they're so appreciated, and it's just, I want more of that. I want to do more of that for other people and to have that in return, and just like build those supportive, loving, relationships. So that's all for today, I think. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Kate. I talk about life and finances around here. And so if that sounds like your cup of tea, please subscribe to see more videos like this, and also some that are actually more constructive and more helpful. It's not always just rants. Sometimes it's like productive things about finances and career and all of those good things. So I hope to see you on the next one.